Greetings and welcome to another video. This is going to be one of those videos. This is going to be raw, and you may not like what I will say, but you don't have to watch it. You can leave. The disclaimer we will begin with. If you become butthurt or suffer from an emotional distress because of the words that will be following this disclaimer, then the best thing to do is to stop watching. If you are upset or angry because of the following words that are about to happen, then maybe just again, stop watching and don't watch again. Of course, I mean no ill will intentionally. I do believe in free speech. I will not be dictated to by hate watchers who think that bombarding all of my channel with dislikes is going to shut me up or going to manage how I speak and what I speak. That's not going to happen. If you're thinking that, you're living in a dream world. Saying that, I got my mouth moving. Earlier tonight, I was at a place that I've been hanging out for a while now. It was entertaining. The talk was fun and all this and everything. And a topic came up, and someone had made a statement that how can you be lonely in Second Life? I was shocked that someone could think that's a thing. Like you can be lonely in Second Life. Anybody, anywhere can be lonely. You can be in a room full of people and you can still feel lonely. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone. Feeling lonely and being alone. There's a difference. And so I said a few words, that it's totally a thing. It is. And I've suffered from it. And I know full well many of you have suffered from it too. And then, the conversation goes on. And, when you're in a room with people and things start happening, like, somebody will leave and then there's like a person that will say, well, they're leaving. I'm going to go do this, right? And you're sitting there like, hello, I'm right here. I'm still here. I'm still active. Hello. So in a gist, that's what happened. I just I just left. I was like, well, I guess I might as well go too then. And I left. I just TP'd back home. And I realized it could seem a little bit childish or temperamental, but it's a defense mechanism. And that's part of the PTSD that I am diagnosed with. But the reason for this video is that I want to talk about the loneliness factor in Second Life. Earlier today, I got an IM from a friend from the channel, and they recently suffered from SL loneliness and RL loneliness, and it made them act hastily. And I'm sure that we've all experienced that, or we know someone who has done something, and it affects the people around them, either positive or negatively. It certainly does affect them. A Second Life, even though it's a virtual world, a lot of lines get blurred, and we spend so much time invested, looking at the monitor and talking and exploring and doing things that our emotions and feelings cannot tell the difference. Only our minds can. And some people tend to leave out the feelings and emotions when it comes to Second Life because they either see it as a game or they just see it as a blip of a quick turn of entertainment or a quick jolly, of trolling, or what have you. In other words, they do not take it seriously. That's their folly. I've always been an advocate of expression and the freedom of that expression. Free speech is important. Without free speech, it causes problems. It causes people to hold back what they really want to say. It causes them to have pent up feelings and emotions of expression. And then eventually, a tiny small thing can happen and they go postal. So, without freedom of speech, it really can cause bigger problems than someone getting their feelings hurt or butt hurt. Now, if you call someone a bad name, okay, yes, that can be hurtful. But like if you make a joke that is actually funny and not intended toward a person, it's a joke. If a person gets offended at a joke, then perhaps they are too involved in themselves to see the bigger picture that yes, life can be funny. So, all of these things, freedom of speech, being offended, being assaulted, all of these things, they do make up loneliness. In order to remedy loneliness, you go out, you meet people, you want to make friends, you want to make those connections. But in today's world, you have to be careful what you say. And you end up self censoring yourself. And then over time, that self censoring, it eats at you. And the real you starts to fade away. And all that's left is a person who has just conformed to the majority of people just to be accepted. I don't agree with that. We have a God given right to live freely, to be free. Of course, as with anything, there is decorum and tact, civility, mannerisms, using your words carefully, choosing your words in the exact manner of which you want to be conveyed. Brings us to comfort. When you're comfortable around the people that are your friends, your tribe, your homies, that's when you can be yourself. But when things start to happen in a regard where you slowly begin to feel that the novelty of being a part of that group or being friends with that person has worn off, you might think, well, perhaps it's time to move on. Perhaps I've done what I was supposed to do and it's just time to move on. I'm currently going through that right now. And so I'm making a choice to go back to feeling that loneliness, to go back to that hermitage of safety where there is no risk. For me, there is risk when it comes to involving other people or being involved with other people. It's really, really risky for me. I either I share too much, or I'm too inclusive, or I get attached, or I'm being too nice, too giving, too sharing, whatever. I always feel that it's something that it's my fault, right? Someone's pattern of behavior changes, and I notice it because over time, when you're getting to know someone or you're getting to know a group, you see a pattern of behavior develop. Well, I do. And if anything goes out of that normal pattern of behavior, to me, that's a red flag. I'm just putting words out there, trying to figure out how to match my feelings to my words and vice versa. Hopefully, I'm coming across, but if I'm not, then oh well. You know how you have a web, a spider's web, and it's all intricate and detail and woven in such a way to where it's just the lines of the silk of the web are perfect. If there's one string or one, silken thread that's out of order or crooked, then that's going to affect the entirety of the web. And I just feel like I'm that wonky, crooked little string in that web. Maybe I've been too social and I'm to the level of socialness that I haven't been used to in a while. Maybe I'm having social burnout. I mean, this is like, you know, hearing the other voices of people, being on voice, being active, doing things together and stuff. And maybe I'm just burnt out. It's nothing that they've done or said. I just feel that it's just time to go. I can't explain it any other way other than the web, but the web like analogy. I've got problems, as some of you know. I've got my mental health illnesses, my PTSD, and the major depression. But yeah, yes, I have been taking my meds, so I'm not off the rails or anything. It's just being social is just so difficult. It is such a risk. And I don't want to get used to being around a group of people, getting comfortable, and then something happen. And then I get hurt, disappointed, upset. I cry for a couple of days and, I feel miserable and blah and all this stuff. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to take that risk. It's almost as though I feel like a bee that is done pollinating a flower. And it's time for me to take my little bee wings and fly away. I really seriously don't know how any other way to say that. So I am just going to be on my own for a while. I've got some channel stuff to work on. I've got the newbie SL origin stories to do, video up, got those to do. And, so I've got things to do, solitary things to do. That'll do me. That'll do me. So I just wanted to say that. Um, and that's going to be the end of this video. Bye.